Hey everybody, welcome back to a tasting. I'm going to taste the coveted, the limited edition, comes out every year, but we all hope to get a bottle, Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. Now what's interesting, there was a time that nobody really cared about this release. It was the kind of like the second thought of the fall season of hunting bourbon. But those in Louisville, those in the know, always, really did everything they could to find a bottle. And some would actually pursue this over Pappy or the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. So Old Forester Birthday Bourbon holds a special place in the heart of Louisvillians and Kentuckians. Now, I've already tasted this. This is actually going to be my third taste. And I tasted this up against Old Forester 1920 in a members-only live stream that aired right after a live stream previously, a public live stream. And I'll tell you, going neck and neck up against Old Forester 1920, Birthday Bourbon didn't really stand out like I thought it would. Now, this is a 98 proof, I believe. Yep, 98 proof and 10 years old. So, maybe it's not a fair comparison to compare it to 1920, but then again, it's bourbon. We should be able to compare back and forth. It doesn't matter the proof, doesn't matter the age. As they say, good is good. So I would like to take a look at this and see what I think about it. Now, I'll tell you that here lately, I've really had a hankering for Brown-Forman products. And Brown-Forman is the parent company of Old Forester, and they've just been putting out a lot of really good whiskey lately, and I just I have high hopes for this one, but it didn't do well against my taste off up against 1920. Now, I did get this from the distillery at no cost to my own. I always give honest reviews whether they send me bottles or not, but I like to tell you that so going in. But this is $129 is the SRP, $129.99. Typical Old Forester smell for me. Cherries, bananas. Ooh, a little pie crust in there. A little coming out of the oven pie crust. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, clearly I need to redo the tasting between 1920 and this one, because this one, first taste, brown sugar. Brown sugar, brown sugar, brown sugar, brown sugar. Damn. Now I want some of the brown sugar on it. Brown sugar, a waffle, one of those like big old thick waffles, maple syrup, walnuts, and there's a bit of a spice there. I can't quite put my finger on what that spice is, but it skews toward like a baking spice. So we're looking at something that has probably been added to like a pie or something like that. It's just like it gives a little kick there at the end. Maybe it's kind of in that same line of spices as cinnamon, but it's not cinnamon, but it fills and tingles much the same way. Why can't I figure that out? Now we're also getting a little bit of almond. I will say the finish is not there. That palate is money. The nose is money. But the finish is kind of like, maybe it's a medium finish, but it's not. It's finishing very short to medium with a nice with a nice, base of molasses. Like, I'm getting a molasses on this finish, which I love molasses. Molasses is great. But I want that to be on the tongue a little longer, and it's just not there. It's not lasting like I would think, and that makes sense as to why in that taste off the other day that I chose Old Forester 1920 over the birthday bourbon. And I think that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to continue to choose Old Forester 1920 over the 2020 birthday bourbon, because I am such a finish guy. Like, I love a good long finish, and the Old Forester 1920 just finishes all day long. So, well, you may feel free to hunt this. You may want to go look for it, and it'd be a fantastic bottle to add to your collection. I do think that the Old Forester 1920 is going to be more appreciated, and it'll save you a few bucks. You'll probably also find it. So I'm going to be recommending the Old Forester 1920 over the 2020 Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. Now, if you're a collector, if you like whiskey, you should all be tasting for yourself, but I still recommend the Birthday Bourbon. I just happen to really love Old Forester 1920. So that'll do it for this episode. Be sure to click that subscribe button, hit the like button while you're going on to do whatever it is you're going to do. It helps with the algorithms. Who knew that in 2020 we'd be owned and dominated by our algorithm lords in the podcast and YouTube world? But I certainly am. Maybe you're not. Maybe you have a profession where you can get away with actually being human and not have AI dictate to you what you're doing. But unfortunately, I have to follow the algorithm. So thank you so much for joining. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And remember, vodka sucks unless it's being used for hand sanitizer. Cheers.